Hey everyone, I am Mel from Crazy Desert Knitting. How is everyone doing today? Welcome to episode 8 of Crazy Desert Knitting. I'm so excited that everybody is here. If you are a new viewer, welcome to the Crazy Desert Knitting family. If you guys are a returning viewer, thank you guys so much for coming and back and seeing me again today. I am so excited to have you guys as part of my Crazy Desert Knitting family as always. So I want to have everybody go ahead and grab your favorite beverage and your amazing knitting and come on back and join me and we'll go ahead and get started. So first off, you guys can probably tell we're in another location again today. I hope to eventually get this all figured out. I normally film outside, as some of you guys know from my previous episodes. However, the light's not the best today and you guys can kind of see it streaming in from the side over here. But it's cloudy, it's sunny, it's cloudy, it's sunny. It just wasn't working for me. So here we are. And I tried to put myself on a white background here today. I may change up in the room where I film from, but because we have like 3 different colored walls or spaces in this room. So you guys might see a different background color, but I promise I will never put it on the tan because I blend in with it. It's really kind of sad. Like I put my hand up on the wall and it looks like the same color. It's kind of funny. So welcome to that as well. So we're going to try out this new one. We'll see what happens. Also, if you guys are interested in getting a hold of me or contacting me or befriending me or anything like that, thumbs up. I would love to hear from you. As always, comments are always greatly appreciated. I'd love to hear from everybody and those kinds of things. You can find me at Crazy Desert Knitter on Ravelry.com. I do not have the Crazy Desert Knitting group up and running yet. Unfortunately, it will be up and running soon. I hope. That's if I stop being lazy and getting frustrated with it and just not doing it. I'll be honest, I got frustrated and I stopped trying. So, thanks. So, now all that kind of stuff is out of the way. I'm going to start today. I guess I'll start with the finished objects. Finally off my needles. What do you guys think? Finally off my needles? I think so too. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember from episode 7, I created the snow bowler hat. It is this pattern right here. And I'll always put the pattern name on the screen for you guys. And I completed that last episode. You guys can actually see me probably wearing it in the little clip and pick. Ooh, something stuck to it. There we go. This is how that hat actually turned out. I thought it was actually really cute. And this is made out of the Isaac Mizrahi Craft Bulky Yarn, colorway Skyscraper. And you guys might be able to see that right in here is actually where the twists happen on this hat. And then it just kind of works its way around. Otherwise, it's just a straight up knit hat otherwise. But it's actually really nice. And the pattern was well written. It's free off of Ravelry. And, you know, it actually comes in multiple sizes. Now, this one, I believe, was made in the medium. I think she does a small, medium, large, and extra large. Let me look. Hold on. Let me grab the pattern back. Let's see. Yes, she does a small, medium, large, and extra large. For my head, because apparently I have a big head, I made the medium. Oops, bye-bye go all over patterns. I made the medium. For me, I would need at least the large. And if you make this in like a solid color green or gray or black or something, it'd actually be a really great hat for a guy. I know the picture on the pattern is a female, and the colorway that I made was a female. However, it's actually a pretty decent guy hat as well. If you make it out of greens and navies and browns and blacks and that kind of stuff, it'd be really cool. But that was like the second project that I made to come up to finish off with my Rick Rack scarf. Now this is the Rick Rack scarf. You guys also saw this last episode as well. And basically it's got 15 twists. And yes, they are all twists. They are not cabled. They are all twisted. So I have 2 out of 3 stitches. So 2 out of 3. Yes, 2 out of 3 stitches were twisted. And I did that like 15 times. There's like 45 stitch cast on for goes. So it definitely slowed me down. So you twist on the front and you also twist on the back. This is actually the back. And that's the front again. And so I really tried the snowballer hat, and I'll get it again, as a way to try to like mimic but not matchy with the scarf. So I used the same yarn in both. Obviously, it's the, again, Isaac Mizrahi Craft bulky yarn in the skyscraper colorway. But then I came up with, well, if I have a twist in the scarf, let's see if I can find something with a twist in the hat. So I did, which was really cool. So then after that, again, these you guys both saw already. These were both finished objects from last episode, episode 7. In episode 7, I also showed you guys the Friday Harbor mitts. Right here. Again, I'll put the name on the screen here. By Adina Langsden. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Okay, so I actually had this one done. I'm going to go back to what I was saying. I had this one done, but I hadn't actually cast on the second one yet because I just finished this one the night before. And as it turns out, like the bulky skinny yarn I was using, I originally thought it was the exact same weight. Like there wasn't going to be any variation in thickness of the yarn as I went through. I was wrong. Just to let you know, I don't know if it was the entire Mizrahi Craft line in that bulky. I have no idea. But I was wrong because all 4 skeins that I have do the exact same thing. So thumbs up on that one. So I actually created this one. The yarn in this one is actually a little bit thicker and bulkier than the yarn in this one. Now you're looking at this going, did you make a different size? No, I did not make a different size. But this is my last finished object for the week. There we go. And, you know, you put them on top of each other. Yes, there is a difference in size. I mean, there's a decent size difference in this. But keep in mind, I have worn this one a couple of times. Like, I put it on my big fat hand a couple of times. And it's not big enough really to go on my hand. This one has only been worn by my mother. She has smaller, thinner hands than I do. Like, she's got long hands, but she's got really thin hands. I got short but fat hands. Like, it's not normal for me. So besides the fact that I have put this one on a couple of times, so if I actually wash this one, I'm pretty sure it's going to go a little bit bigger. And I can actually stretch this one a little bit larger as well. But besides the fact of that, I'm pretty sure that this actually came up in the smaller, thinner portion of the skein of yarn that I was using, because up at the top here I got bigger, and at the bottom here I got bigger, but in the middle, I don't know if you guys can see the middle there, I kind of got smaller, you know. And I would go with, I got quite a bit tighter. Just to let you know, I probably did knit tighter thinking that the other one was kind of big, so but on each one of these, there is a twist down the center here, but it's actually created with a cable. So the center of the mitts is actually done with a cable. Everything else was just done with a twist stitch. But I wanted something that was matchy, but not matchy. If that made any sense at all. Does matchy make sense? I hope so. We'll see what happens. But, so there's that. I actually got asked by somebody out of my knitting group, you know, what is it that you're going to do with these? These are probably, actually all 3 of these items are probably going to go into my charity bin. One of my goals this year for knitting was to knit 15 at a minimum charity items. So if I put 3 in there, plus the one I've already done with the Magic Ball hat that I created already this year, I'm 4 on my way. So that's a pretty good chunk of change. I'm only 3 months in. So I don't know. I'm not sure I would ever, I liked the yarn because it's actually plush and it's actually not 100% acrylic. It is 60% acrylic, 12% wool, 12% bamboo, and 6% silk, I think. Don't quote me on that last one, but there's an extra 6% in there and it's something else. So actually the yarn feels really plush and nice. And you guys can find it at any of your major crafting stores. I wouldn't call this a spectacular yarn to use, but I wouldn't call it the worst yarn I've ever used. I would definitely put it a step above Red Heart, because I'm not a fan of Red Heart. I find it very itchy and scratchy. I do use it sometimes for charity items because they're going to be used, they're going to be abused. That's the whole point of them. They're going to be used and they're going to be washed and worn and get dirty and rinsed out and scrubbed. And so it needs to have the ability to hold up underneath those conditions. And no matter what anybody says, Red Heart can hold up under those kinds of conditions. I have nothing else to say. So, yeah, Red Heart is quite awesome in that regard. But for nice knitting sake, because I love to use things that are real and cotton and wool and silk and things that are a little bit nicer to use, the nicer yarns out of the whole grand scheme of things. This actually wasn't bad to work with. It's not my favorite by any means, but it's not the worst. So let me tell you that much. But I did enjoy all three of these patterns. I enjoyed the hat and the mitts a lot more than I enjoyed the scarf. To me, it almost would have been better to actually cable those and do like a 3x3 cable, I guess. I don't know cabling terms very well. I'm sorry, guys who cable all the time. But, you know, I probably would have cabled them. Cabling was faster than twisting all 15 stitches, because I would cut down half the number of twists that I did in that scarf. So if I did that one again, I would probably change it into a cabled scarf and not a knit scarf. But hey, c'est la vie. I did it, right? Slowed me down. That was kind of what I was looking for. I was kind of going through a lot of projects there for a little bit. So there was that. Okay, so you guys are probably wondering what is going on with my Build-A-Lace shawl. Now, I'm going to lean down here and grab it here. It has kind of outgrown just the little bag that I had it in. So I found in the house this like little Let It Snow bag. It's like a little like Christmas giveaway bag from charity and stuff that they give you when you donate. So fun. But it used to 100% live in my yarn bag here. But at the same time, it kind of outgrew it, unfortunately. As much as I love this little yarn bag, it's not really going to hold the giant shawl by the time I get done. And I'll actually show it to you guys again. I'll put the yarn bag back in there. So if you guys remember, I had just gotten through pattern 2 of Building with Lace by Michelle Hunter. And this shawl is just going to be gorgeous. I've seen it done in the Haiku Riley yarn. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, guys. Nothing that I can say against the beauty of that yarn. At the time that I was starting this project, could not purchase that much of that yarn that I was going to need for this project. So I purchased a different brand. And if you guys go back 2 episodes, so go back to episode 6, you guys will actually see what yarn I'm working with, and I will actually go through it again in episode 9. But, or my next episode, whatever number that turns out to be, just in case this wasn't episode 8. I'll go through it in the next one. I just dropped it again. I apparently need like a little table over here or something. Things to know when you film. So this is a great pattern by Michelle Hunter, and I've seen her building with blocks, like her Build-A-Block blanket pattern as well. Very well done. Her directions are amazing, just to let you know. I'm really surprised. She also along with the written directions, has video directions that will walk you through steps. And in her written pattern, she'll even put off down to the side saying, hey, the technique video are these, and these that apply to this pattern section. And that's, to me, is really awesome because it's very, very helpful. So compared to last time, you guys, I got through the second block. Hate to say this, hasn't gone anywhere. And the reason for that, let's see if I can actually open this up for you guys. There we go. This is my shawl so far. And I do apologize for the giant green line in there, but that is a lifeline and I'm not willing to take it out. So I have not gotten any further. And the reason for that is, if you guys have ever watched any of my videos, you'll sit here and say, she doesn't like to do more than one project at a time. That is true. There is a challenge I'm having with one of my friends here that's also doing the exact same pattern at the exact same time, that I'm only allowed to work on one block a month. Not a fan. I mean, this is one of those patterns that actually grabbed me early on. By the time I finally got through like the first repeat of the very bottom pattern down there, I wanted to just continue knitting. And this second pattern here went so much faster than that bottom section did. It's very beautiful. That bottom section is really beautiful, and it gives you like a setup round of what you're going to need to know for some of the patterns in the future. But that second round went so much faster. So I got done with it really, really early. And I was really, really sad because I wasn't allowed to work on it anymore. And seeing as it is the first day of March, unfortunately, so I do always film almost one day in advance of releasing my videos. Sometimes a little bit more than one day in release. And so I'm all sad. It's the first day of March, so it's the first day I can actually work on it, but I'm in the middle of another project. So I don't want to start this one again until I finish that one. So hopefully by the next episode, whatever the episode number that is, I will be done with that project and possibly maybe also the next block of this shawl. So I should be on block 3. So I will let you guys know how well that works out. We'll see. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to stick to my schedule of only doing one block a month. Like, it's going to bug me. That's what I've decided. It's totally going to bug me. So, unfortunately, I love to work on things and get them done. I don't like multiple projects and stages. So, as the sun moves, it's like changing directions as to like what's hitting me and what isn't hitting me. I may have to go adjust that. We'll see. Okay, so on to what is currently on my needles. So the Building with Lace shawl is currently on my needles, and it's not done yet, but also currently on my needles is the amazing, lovely Driftwood tee. And this is made by Mercedes Clark. This pattern is by Mercedes Clark. Now, Clark is not her full name. Please look on the screen for her full name. I do not want to mispronounce her name so badly that nobody can find her. So please read the screen. I'm going to call her Mercedes. Just to let you know. And again, Driftwood tee by Mercedes. And I also had another goal this year of using up 5% of my stash. Now, my stash, compared to a lot of people's stash, is not very large. However, I did have a few things in my stash that I actually have sweater quantities of yarn for me. Like, and I'm not the smallest girl in the world. So, you know how like sometimes it can be a couple of skeins different between the smallest size and the largest size? Well, I almost always make the largest size. Almost always. Not a guarantee. This lovely Gemini top that I'm wearing today. This is the Gemini top. Sorry, guys. This would be one of those patterns that I probably would have gone down either one needle size or one hole size. It was also like the first top I ever did that actually fitting kind of sort of mattered, to be honest with you. I haven't done very many garments. So this is the Gemini top, and it's, if you guys can't tell, like the scoop of the neck is a little bit too big for me. The arms are a little bit large, even for me, and I have big arms, guys. Like there's no joke about that. There's some big arms out there. I have them. But my arms are a little bit bigger. You guys can hear JD in the background. Sorry about that. My arms are a little bit bigger than I would have liked, as well as the body. Now, when I originally did my gauge, I did my gauge swatch, and I thought I did it right. Apparently I didn't, because I didn't know how to block it correctly. So I think I figured that out now. That and this yarn had a lot of give to it. It was Eucalyptus yarn. I believe the company is actually out of business now, unfortunately. Really nice yarn. I really like it. It's made with eucalyptus and wool. So it's eucalyptus and wool, and it's very lightweight wool, so I can actually wear it here in the desert. Sorry, I've got like water dripping in my hair. My hair is kind of still wet from my shower. Sorry about that. But it's eucalyptus and wool, and little did I know that it would stretch quite as much as it did. I love it. It's actually a really nice, soft shirt. It's not itchy or scratchy, which was kind of surprising to some people based on the yarn that I was using. I'm actually gonna have to go close those windows. I'll be right back. Okay, so sorry. This actually looks so much better. Okay, so again, the yarn isn't itchy or scratchy or anything like that. So I'm actually really happy how this is my first top that I ever made that fitting actually kind of sort of mattered. I'm very impressed with how it came out. I would definitely make this top again. This can be the front, or the back can be the front. The back actually has the same lace pattern that's on the arms. If I made it again, I would actually only put the lace pattern on the arms and then not worry about the front and the back, to be honest with you. But I also would definitely change how I checked my gauge swatch. So for the driftwood tee, back to that, I'm sorry guys, for the driftwood tee, I decided to use a different type of gauge swatch. And I tried multiple things. So this is my gauge swatch, and you guys will look at it and you're going to say it's lopsided, and I'm going to answer you, yes, it is. And little did I know, I did not intentionally knit it like that. I got drastically tighter from the bottom of my gauge swatch towards the top of my gauge swatch. Why? I have no idea. I think my mindset was I had problems on my Odell top when I was decreasing for the arms, because somebody called it the step ladder decrease, arm decrease for the shoulder seam and the arm up here on the Odell top. And I wanted to see what it would do if I kind of got tighter, I think. So, hey, so far I'm still accurate in my gauge though. So I more or less measured from the bottom half of it, which is more my true knitting as well. I soaked it. I measured it before I soaked it and blocked it. I measured it after I soaked it. I measured it after I blocked it. Then I turned around and said, well, hey, I wonder if I can throw this in the washing machine and what will happen to it. Well, I found out what happens to it. So I threw it in with some of my clothes. So I washed it and I dried it. You guys are going to be sitting here going, oh my lands, what is she using that she was crazy enough to throw it in the dryer? Yes, I threw it in the dryer. And the reason why I threw it in the dryer is the yarn I'm using here. I'm actually going to pull it out for you as I drop stuff. The yarn I'm using is 100% bamboo yarn. And I was talking with some people that are so much smarter when it comes to fibers than myself. I'm using 100% bamboo yarn. I believe the color is Pacific Point Blue from Southwest Trading Company. And Southwest Trading Company actually had like an outlet store here in the Valley of the Sun. However, it has recently closed. And so I was there and I saw the color and I was drawn to the color and I was drawn to the fact that it's a very light, very, very light, very airy fabric, or creates a very airy fabric. It's a very nice, light, thin yarn, even though it's actually got quite a bit of heft to it. And so I bought a whole bunch of skeins, like a whole bunch of skeins, enough to do a shirt with. So that tells you how much I bought of it. But it's 100% bamboo. And bamboo responds a lot like cotton. And I have never worked with bamboo before, like where it's 100% bamboo. So I wanted to know how it was going to react in all situations, in case I accidentally tossed it in the dryer and the washer and all that kind of stuff. Well, I found out it can be washed and dried in a dryer. I also found out that after I blocked it, I tossed it in the washer and dryer. I measured this thing like 4 or 5 times. So I took my swatch, I tossed it in the dryer, or tossed it in the washer after I blocked it. I tossed it in the wash, pulled it out, measured it again, tossed it in the dryer, measured it a 5th time. And I came up with the fact that across, I was perfectly fine. My gauge was pretty much almost dead on, as much as I could possibly make it. So in that regard, thumbs up for me. Stitch wise, number versus rows, number of columns versus number of rows. My number of columns, perfect. A thumbs up to that, because I wanted a little bit of positive ease. And with my current gauge, I would have gotten a little bit of positive ease. If I'd gone down a needle size, because I knit so tight, I automatically go up a needle size. If I'd gone back down to what the pattern actually calls for, I would have been way too small. Like way too small. Like really, really small. Like it wouldn't fit me small. Would be sad small. However, my up and down, so my top to bottom, my number of rows I have to knit, not nearly how long I'm going to need it. I came up about 5 rows short. Before I blocked it, I came up about 1 row short. After I blocked it, I was fine. I was on gauge after I blocked it. And even after I threw it in the washing machine, I was on gauge. It was after I dried it that I was going to be way too short. And for my body style, I need a longer shirt because my torso is longer than the average human's apparently. I've never noticed this. I've never realized that my torso is quite a bit longer. But I also like longer shirts. I don't like my shirts to be real short and at the top of my pants or anything. That's not me. That's not how I work. I like mine to be a little bit longer, not like freakishly long, but just a little bit longer. So I knew I was going to need to add a little bit of rows there anyways. So then the question became, how do I do this? Because I'm going to pick up the pattern again. If you guys can see, oops, my knitting's falling. Sorry. In the picture, you have this lace work right here, and it kind of ends almost right underneath the bust line, which is where they then start having you increase. So the lattice work kind of like ends like right there. And I'm like, well, how do I add extra length if I'm going from that right into there? And I don't want to add rows, so I definitely didn't want to go any wider. So I definitely didn't want to go up another needle size, but I needed to go longer. And so it became a back and forth between some people that I know that are much better at patterns and fitting garments and knitting garments than I am, to the point where we kind of came up with a little bit of a plan of attack. And at the very bottom of the shirt, the pattern calls for a few rows of garter stitch just to give it a nice bottom border. So it's not rib stitch like most are. It's a garter stitch actually. And so I'm like, you know what? In a smaller needle size, like 2 sizes smaller. I didn't go down the needle size. Why? I don't know. But And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this in a smaller needle size. I'm going to stick in my main needle size. And B, I actually doubled that number of rows that they were doing in garter stitch. So I doubled it. So that there is going to add a little bit of extra space, a little bit of extra length. Then also before I do the setup row for the increases, I'm actually going to knit a certain number of rows. So I'm going to start with probably about 10 extra rows in there for myself and see how much extra that is, and then figure it out from there to be how far I have to go up before I do the arms. I considered, they allow a 9.5 inch radius for an arm. So about a 19-inch diameter as a whole for the arm. I probably don't want to increase very much extra in there due to what happened with this Gemini top and how big the arm is in here. I have big arms, but my arms aren't quite that big. I mean, they're big, but they're not that big. Like, I got big arms, but, so I think the extra majority is going to come in here before I start the increases to widen for the bust and the arms and that kind of stuff. So we're going to see how it works. This pattern, Driftwood Tee, is knit in 2 pieces. So there is a back piece and a front piece. And I've started on the back piece. I'm actually going to show you. Okay. So this is my top so far. So this is am I even showing you guys the right side? Yeah. I was like, I don't even know what I'm showing you. So this is the lace pattern. So it does go in a triangular shape. I'm not going to go out of camera right here. Triangular shape up until it kind of decreases there. And the rest is just straight up knit. So, which is really nice. And the back is all purled. So far, I'm actually enjoying this top because there's just enough interest here to keep me interested through the rest of here. So that is actually really, really nice. So I enjoy the little bit of lace work that I have here and then into knit. So it kind of gives you a break for the knit, and then you kind of go back in and do just a little bit of lace work. I mean, and it's not very much. It's a very short set of, like, you really think about it and you're like, wow, that's a lot, but it's really, really not. And each couple of rows, it gets smaller and smaller. So, but it does give you a nice little break, actually. So I very much enjoy it. I am loving the color. I love the color because it's blue and I'm a blue fan. As you guys can see, I did garter stitch at the bottom there. And again, I doubled the number of rows and I kept it on the same needle size as everything else. They also call for a garter stitch collar almost. So you're supposed to go around the edge here and pick up and knit a couple of rows in a smaller needle size and garter stitch. There's a good chance I will actually do that in the smaller needle size, just to keep it from flopping quite as much. So I may actually go down a needle size for that. So that's fun. Something I would change if I ever made this tee again, this Driftwood Tee again, which right now I love it. I absolutely love it. I enjoyed my Odell top until I got to the end. I did not like picking up and doing the I-cord. That was awful. But the actual act of knitting it and how it looks once it's done, thumbs up. And I'm hoping that this one will, I'm really liking it so far. And I'm checking how it, how it looks and how it's going and the size of it and stuff as I'm going. The only thing I would do differently for this, I am using my Chiagu or Chiagu, depending how you guys pronounce it. I am using the metal lace tipped needles. I'm using bamboo yarn. I would use wood. I don't know what possessed me originally to put it on these needles. And I like these needles. Don't get me wrong. I love these needles. My lace project, thumbs up. So I think part of the reason why I chose to put on here was because of the lace work that I was doing. Bad idea. It's bamboo. It slides really easy. So I am having problems keeping, stitches on needles and that kind of stuff. But it works really great for the lace section. So again, if I ever did this, I would use wood needles. And I had somebody else that looked at me, they're going, well, why don't you just transfer them onto wood? And I would say, because I don't have the same gauge on my wood as I do on my metal. And it's not better or worse, it's just slightly different. And I don't want to change how I was knitting as I kind of went. And I kind of hit that point where I was like, I could rip it out, but I didn't realize I didn't like them nearly as much as I thought I was going to until I was past that point. I'm kind of not at a point of no return yet, but I've started it, so I'm going to keep going with it, which is nice. I'm thinking about putting in a lifeline too. I probably should do that soon. And then remember where I put it. I put in a lifeline in a shirt once, and I didn't write down where I put the lifeline in. And I couldn't just figure it out. The pattern was written in such a strange way that it repeated a certain number of times, and I couldn't count the repeats well. And I put a lifeline in, and I didn't mark where I put the lifeline. I don't suggest that. Please remember where you put your lifelines. Just a thought. All right, that was my tip from me to you today. So, woohoo! But I am very much enjoying this pattern, even with my crazy needles. For anybody that's just starting knitting, metal needles and bamboo, I wouldn't suggest it. If you are an experienced knitter, metal needles and bamboo, high five, thumbs up, keep going. It's going to make you faster. But for me, metal needles and bamboo were not the brightest idea in the world. Especially since I still love my wood needles. I absolutely adore my wood needles. So I have a Knitter's Pride set of wood needles, interchangeable wood needles, and I love those needles. I like these as well. I very much enjoy these needles. I haven't used them nearly as much, so I can't say I love them yet. But when it comes to lace work, thumbs up. I really like these tips. The tips on these are just, So, thumbs up to that. I really enjoy those. So again, this is my current project, and this is the back. I do not have the front done yet. I don't even have the front started yet. This is the back. And again, that's the lace section, and the rest is just knit. So there is that. But that is currently what I'm working on, which is the Driftwood Tee by Mercedes Clark. And her full name, again, look back a couple of minutes, is at the top. Okay, so what is not yet on my needles? So what's in my my queue, my knitting queue? I honestly don't know. I still have the rest of the Driftwood Tee. I'm hoping that's going to take me another week and a half or so. And then I am lucky enough that I do have the Building with Lace, my next block of Building with Lace. After that, I don't know. I still have not found that, oops, sorry guys, I just bumped the camera. I still have not found the perfect pattern for a basket yet. I'm willing to go to crochet at this point in time. I don't know. I'm still looking for that, I think. And if you guys looked back at last episode, I think it was, so episode 7 maybe, whatever the last episode was, I inherited a Parlor Mix yarn ball from a knitting friend of mine, and she absolutely loved it when she bought it, and she's just having problems knitting lately. So there's a good chance that I might go ahead and grab up that ball and make up that pattern that she was going to make with it and then gift it back to her. I don't know yet. So I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if my next pattern is going to be a basket if I ever find one. I would love to make a kennel mat for JD. He's the pup that you guys kind of hear sniffing around all the time and barking. Or if you guys are outside, typically you can see the caramel colored dog that's walking behind me. That is JD. I have some old like bed sheets that smell still like me, and he very much likes that. So I was going to cut it into strips. There's a how-to thing out there of how to cut bed sheets into strips to make yarn out of it. And so then I was going to knit him a kennel mat or crochet him a kennel mat, depending on how good I get. I don't know. It might be crocheted just due to the fact of the size and I don't know. We'll see. So that's also on my list. There is a good chance I'm going to be making some baby items soon. My friends have decided to go through a phase in their relationships where everybody's now having kids. And if they're not having their first kid, they're having their second kid. So I am actually in need of a few baby blankets and toys and that kind of stuff. Now you guys might be sitting here saying, wow, you're knitting for your friends and their babies and you must really love them. Yes, I do. I don't knit like that for everybody. Typically if I go to like a baby shower, I will knit up some like baby washcloths, some nice soft baby cotton. And they always typically have animals on them and they're in fun colors and that kind of stuff. And so I'll make up like a little gift basket with those and some shampoos and lotions and baby powder and that kind of stuff. But these are for my friends that have been friends for life. So, and I've known them a really long time and they're really special to me. And most of them actually very much appreciate my original knitting. One so much so that her child refuses to let go of the baby blanket that I made her. She sleeps with it every night, so there's no way to pass it down to the next child. So apparently I need to knit another one, so we'll see. Another one actually requested a hand knit plush toy to pass down to their child. They kind of want it as an heirloom thing. So we'll see how well that works. I had 9 months to do this, right? It'll all work out. So there's a lot of things that are potentially coming up. I'm just not sure what those are yet. If something trips your trigger out of that list, let me know. So at least I have a reason to knit one of those first. I'm also looking at doing another like cardigan sweater almost after I finish the driftwood tee, because this office that I'm working in right now is freezing cold. And it makes me want to knit just like a nice cardigan sweater because I am freezing in this office. Like it goes from hot to cold like throughout the day and it's crazy. So I am considering knitting that. There's also a lace shawl that's a circular shawl that I'm looking to possibly knit soon. I haven't bought the materials for it. I haven't done anything like that yet. So maybe sometime this year that'll be coming up as well. But we'll see what happens. So that's kind of what's going on with me and my knitting. As you guys saw, the finished Friday Harbor mittens, which are brand spanking new this week. That's backwards, sorry. My brand new finished objects this week. As well as I put everything on the floor here in front of me, and so now I can't get a hold of anything. Fun. As well as my building with lace shawl. You guys saw that. And you know that I'm at the exact same spot, but it's beautiful. I'm very happy with the way it's coming out, and I'm enjoying the color of it. So it's kind of a neutral caramel color. So it kind of goes with everything. I didn't want something that wouldn't go with a lot of things. So there's that. And then you guys saw where I'm at with the driftwood tee. So hopefully I'm a lot further with that next time we see each other. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more crazy desert knitting, always please come back and join me. I love having you guys with us. I love hearing from you. Go ahead and subscribe. I don't know which side of the screen it hits, but subscribe. If you guys ever want to get a hold of me, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment box below. I love hearing from you. And if I ever forget to respond to you, it's because I thought I already did. Sorry for the lovely lady who I don't want to say your name out loud on screen here, but you commented on the Building with Lace shawl, and thank you so much for your comment, and I'm so sorry for not getting back to you sooner. My bad. I thought I already responded to you, and apparently I didn't. So I apologize for that. But I do try to get you back to everybody as fast as I can. And along with that, if you guys want to join me as friend on Ravelry, I would love to have you. So beyond that, until next time, just keep knitting, everybody. Have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.